This is an 8-iron, and it's a dead shank.
Wow.
Way right.
Oh, takes a hop off the path.
You gotta be kidding me. Very tough pitch shot right here. You gotta hit it into the hill, one hop up and bite, and it's in.
Kind of like that.
Well, I would like to welcome six-time European Tour winner and also the winner of the 2016 Masters Championship, Danny Willett, to the Sub 70 podcast. Danny, thanks for taking the time today to be on the podcast with us. I greatly appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure.
Well, we are getting a little closer to this little invitational in April, and I assume you're getting pretty excited to get back to the Masters. You know, how's your game shaping up? How excited are you for this week at the Valspar, and what's your schedule going to look like as you get closer to the Masters?
Yeah, everything's been going a lot better. Obviously, doing a hell of a lot of good work with Foles and with Kev Duffy, and the game's getting in a better place. Obviously, we all have our off weeks, but yeah, on the main, everything's getting better, and yeah, it's going to be exciting to go back to Augusta, feeling like I'm in, relatively good shape. I've been there the last couple of years, and I've been struggling with the body and the game and stuff. So yeah, it's nice times to be able to go back there with the feeling that, not saying that you're going to compete, but saying that I'm in a much better place within what I'm doing.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that, and you brought up working with Sean Foley already, and everyone I think in golf knows you had some injuries that were tough to get over. And what has Sean sort of brought to the table to kind of help you, get back to the level you were at? You had the huge win last year. From a technical standpoint, what did you have to kind of change in your golf swing, with the injuries that you had?
Yeah, we changed a good bit of stuff. Basically, everything that me and Foles did was based around making sure that the back wasn't in pain when I was moving. So, we had to add a lot more lower body movement, a lot more pelvis movement to take a lot of pressure off the back, talking so much. And the feelings were obviously massively different, whether they look different to the naked eye or to people. It completely changed the ball flight, completely changed the strike pattern. So in terms of a player, adjusting to that is a quite a bizarre feeling, really. You ask guys who've hit a fade for 3 years to all of a sudden trying to hit a high draw and do it whilst you're making these moves that feel alien to you is a pretty strange feeling. So, but basically we did that so I could prolong my career. So basically I was willing to do whatever it took to get back to a place where the body felt good, where I was happy with what I was doing, and where things kind of matched up, and we found that place, and everything's been a good bit better for the body since. And it's just, regardless of what happened really with the game, the fact that we were able to play, 2, 3, 4 weeks in a row, not be on painkillers was a massive bonus. February, March, this time basically last year I was playing in Malaysia, and it's the first time I wasn't on painkillers in 5 years. And that was a big step forward. And then going forward since then, we've been able to train a bit harder and do a bit more work, and and things have just been steadily getting better. Obviously, the win in Dubai was, it was what it was. It was a result, but we've been doing a lot of good things. Whether if we'd have won there or not, we were still really happy with the progressions we were making.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up as well. Back to that, it's a huge tournament to win at the end of the season at the DP World Championship. That had to be huge for that journey you've been through to go out there and perform and win on a really big stage. That had to build a hell of a lot of confidence going into 2019.
Yeah, it's a funny one, isn't it? I think once you've been in and around golf enough, I don't know if the stage where it's at really matters, as long as you know that your golf game's in a position to be able to perform how you want it to perform. Then as long as you kind of get a good feel for the golf course and you're playing well, I think you're okay. Luckily for me, that on a couple of occasions that's been at some big events. But yeah, it was a very very satisfying win. Like you say, winning any week on the European Tour or the PGA Tour is an impressive feat. You know, it's hard to do. The guys are great golfers. So to be able to win again on the tour, but actually not just any event, to be able to win the Tour Championships was, it made it kind of all feel that little bit sweeter after the roller coaster that we'd had for a little while in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking at the Masters again, you played in the Masters one time before you actually won the tournament. I've talked to a lot of guys in the podcast, and they say that first Masters is really, really special. It's a lot of work just to get there. What's your memories of your first one, and then what's that difference of the little perks and the things, and there's some big perks too, of going back as a champion and that experience as well? Can you kind of offset your first one and then, that next time you came back as a champion, of what the differences are between your emotions, the satisfaction, all that stuff? Both are unique experiences, I'd have to imagine.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, stepping on property anywhere where you're defending is a pretty cool feeling. Obviously your pictures aren't up around Augusta like on billboards like they are normal tournaments and stuff for the promotion, but you go back there as defending champion. You're announced as defending champion. Obviously within Augusta you've got the champions dinner and everything that goes along with it. So going there as defending champion is an incredibly special. It's an incredibly special feeling. The recognition you obviously get from the members, the patrons, it really is one of a kind, Augusta. So yeah, that in itself is amazing. The first time I went 2 weeks before my first time to try and hopefully get over some of the goosebumps of actually driving down Magnolia Lane and being there, and that kind of helped. And then when we played there, we spent a hell of a lot of time preparing as good as possible, like we would do for any other tournament. We went there early on property. We got we got one of the local caddies, one of the good experienced local caddies, and picked his brains about certain things, and played 9 holes with Bernard Langer, and just really tried to get a good grasp on what it was. We were kind of getting ourselves in for. Luckily Augusta, if you play it for the first time, as obviously everyone does at some point, you've seen it on TV for years. You see pin positions, you see shots in, you see, the pins never change really that much. They've kind of got a handful of positions they use on each day and all that kind of stuff. So you almost can relive golf shots and see golf shots through what you've seen Tiger hit on TV, So you almost feel relatively familiar already, and then you go there and obviously try and really work hard on making sure you can hit it in them areas. And yeah, it's two very different feelings. It's very satisfying to get that very first invite through the post, and then obviously for me now it's incredibly satisfying getting the invite through the post, obviously guaranteed every year, and getting Christmas card and stuff like that. Just two very different scenarios, both very satisfying. And for me now, obviously the ability to be able to go back there all the time and feel part of that prestigious golf club is amazing.
What Patrick's going to go through here in a little bit, is it something that you really can't prepare for until you come back as that defending champion, of hosting the dinner and wearing the green jacket, again back on at Augusta National? It has to be something that is a bit surreal the first time you go through it, and like I said, how cool is it in the sense that you get to do it, for the next 30, 35 years if you so choose to. It's one unique.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's got to be one unique experience.
It is. Obviously, he's had the jacket for a year now, and he gets to keep it for the year. Then it goes back in his locker. So this first year is a really special thing. You get to travel around with it and keep it with you, and do events with the jacket and stuff. And then obviously then when you go back, it's come Sunday of Augusta this year, he's going to have to leave it in his locker. So you best savour the week, because it may only happen once, and it's a pretty special thing to be part of.
You played some unbelievable golf that back nine when you won the Masters. When you look at that day, looking back, were you surprised how you kept it all, one shot at a time in front of you? Did it come easier than you thought on that sort of a stage and that kind of pressure?
Yeah, again, a tricky situation. I feel like holding a 54 lead round there it'd be tougher than the situation I was in. I was a long way behind, but chasing around that golf course, I think, is somewhat easier than trying to protect a lead. With how the hole positions are, there's birdie chances all down that back nine, but there's also danger if you're just kind of trying to cozy it round and make pars. So it's a very different story if you're holding the lead for a long, long time like Jordan was, or if you get into the lead with a few holes to go and you're already into your game and you're already focused and playing well, clearly, and doing all those things. So we kind of hopping in there quite late on the back of 15 was probably a pretty nice situation. I'd obviously been playing some really good golf for the last 3.5 hours, but then, to only have the pressure of being leading for kind of them last 45 minutes compared to leading overnight and being questioned and leading all day and how you would have approached it. Make as many birdies as possible and see where that got us. And fortunately on that day, we made 5 of them, and we kind of got a little bit back, obviously, from the field as well. So,
yeah. And at the same token, though, you knew where you stood on the back nine and had to step up and get it done. So, it's still it's an impressive feat to be on the world's biggest stage, and still it has to be very satisfying that you got through that gauntlet and could perform under that pressure. So it's still a remarkable thing to do, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm still not trying to take anything away from what I did. I'm just trying to put it into the reality of, leading for a shorter period of time is probably a lot nicer.
I have a last few questions for you, kind of quick hitters, whatever kind of comes to your mind on this, and we'll get you out of Dodge. Any new clubs in the bag for this season? If so, what did you put in for the 2019 season, and what sort of results are you seeing from it?
Obviously, we've not really got a great deal of a change yet. I've not had enough time off where I've been hitting enough balls to really do enough long game testing with the new ball and the new driver that Callaway brought out. I'm gonna leave that until I've got a longer period to really test properly. So at the minute I've got exactly the same setup that I had when I won in Dubai. Obviously the Stroke Lab putter that came out just a couple of weeks before Dubai last year, the Tuttle, is in the bag, which obviously helped me to victory in Dubai. And I've basically had the same setup of golf club now for a good while. We're looking into maybe tinkering around a little bit, but again, we need a bit of time off. We don't get a great deal of time off as golfers these days with wraparound seasons and trying to play both tours. So I don't like to fiddle too much. So when I'm going to test something, I like to test it pretty rigorously so that when it goes into competition, there's no excuses there if it's good or bad.
Bigger adrenaline rush, back nine of a major or first tee shot of a Ryder Cup?
Very, very different. I think as a singular 5-minute in the moment thing, the Ryder Cup's pretty daunting on that first tee with all the people, but as a prolonged, 2.5 hours under pressure, obviously, the majors are obviously one of very few.
Best 2 or 3 golf courses in the world. Let's take Augusta out of it since you've won there, but 2 or 3 best golf courses architecturally in the world that you've played, and what makes those courses so spectacular?
Kingston Heath in Australia is a beautiful, beautiful golf course, incredibly cleverly designed. We played a lovely golf course called MacArthur I think it's near West Palm, which again is a fantastic design and just really fun to play from any handicap. So in terms of being average to being really good, MacArthur was great fun. Kingston Heath, you need to be a pretty good golfer, otherwise that place could drive you insane. So 2 very different golf courses in 2 very different parts of the world that I really enjoy.
Last one here I have for you. Your fellow countryman Eddie Pepperell's getting some definite press over here as he's playing more. The fans over here seem to love him. I assume you know him fairly well. Is he as half crazy as he seems to be, and is he that much of a great guy to hang out with? And is there any good Eddie stories that you can share?
No, he's a good guy. He's a very intelligent guy. So obviously, I think a lot of people enjoy his Twitter posts and his insight into what he's been up to and stuff. But no, he's been working really hard. He obviously broke into the top 50 and got his invite for Augusta January 1st last year, which was a big step up. And he's now, I think, he's a 2-time winner on the PGA on the European Tour now, and obviously had a fantastic Sunday at the Players to kind of bolt himself up there and give himself a real chance of nicking a PGA Tour card through a few starts this season. So I think people will see more of him. I think he's a very solid player. I think he enjoys playing, a bit of golf in and around everywhere. So I don't know. I haven't really asked him yet whether or not he wants to play full time and how he wants to do it. But I think if he wanted to play full time over here, he's a great guy and he's a good golfer. I think people will enjoy watching him play.
Well, thank you so much for your time today for this. I really appreciate it. Good luck at the Valspar, and we'll look forward to seeing how you do the rest of the season.
Perfect. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.